Go, ball boy, go fetch me a Gatorade. Sign of the times. Sign of the times. Okay, let's get it. Yo, how do I say this? Bonjour, mon amis. Comment ça va? La base to my Lithuanian people. How do I say it in German, Sean?
The gates.
There we go. Okay. Tikanis, malacas. I can say it in all the languages. Okay. Ciao. All of that. We're going global today for you guys out there, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now, since we are going global. You are here on To The Point with the King. You guys find us Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching us. And make sure you click that subscribe button, hook us up, click a like, leave a comment, let us know what you think. And I am so elated right now. You guys have no idea. I am here with, let's start first, in that corner, the behind-the-scenes producer, the magic man, the one that makes us all work, all the way in Lithuania, Arturas. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Brian. I'm good. Doing good. Labas to everybody.
You're good? And then we have the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Sean McCaw out there in Germany. Make sure you guys go buy this book, okay? Former player, current coach, teaching everybody how to navigate through the system if you are a basketball player and you would like to be successful. Sean, how's it going, bro?
Thanks for having me on. You know I love coming on.
Yo, Dankeschön. I know that one. Okay, so guys, the reason why I assembled International Avengers for this is because I wanted to speak about international basketball. Let's set the foundation here. The three people that were the finalists for the MVP in the NBA were the Joker, Luka, and Shai. Two from Europe, one from right here where I live. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, French. Rookie of the Year, French. Okay, not to mention you had other guys out there like Sabonis. I see that jersey over there, buddy. Right, I see it. Right. So and nothing American is what I've noticed. And Sean, you are an expat. You're former American, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to ask you guys is, how has the European League, since you guys live there, how has the European League developed players to overtake the North American players here where the game started? Sean, I'm going to ask you first.
Well, I think it's the Dream Team's fault, the original Dream Team. I can tell you many stories. I mean, since 1992, when the original Dream Team came together, that brought the excitement, and with that, it brought a lot of American-influenced coaches over to Europe, and that's when it started to change, slowly but surely.
Like
Speed up to today. Exactly. Speed up to today. There's less of a reliance on foreign coaches. The European coaches have gotten much better. They've learned, and they're bringing that to their players. And it's just a different style anyway. But if you think about the whole structure between AAU and what a youth does in Europe, it's a totally different thing, and you just can't compare it. Europe, or the world, is catching up. It has caught up, and now we'll see what the reaction is from the USA side.
Yeah, I totally agree on that one. and we'll get into the AAU because I really want to know, because since you're very knowledgeable about that one, I would like to ask you later.
Mhm.
Art, the man behind
Yes.
the scenes, what do you think about your peoples out there, bro? Because you're only like a 2-hour drive away from Sean, not even. Like,
Maybe.
what is it out
No,
there for
no.
you guys, man?
Yeah, the game is getting global after like 20 years or more, and the main focus on in Europe is on skill development, fundamentals from the young age, the tactical understanding, in, maybe individual skills later, but team play. And many international players go to NBA, so they get like this guy Sabonis.
Your
Um,
boy, Lithuania.
uh, is telling it's my idol. I'm gonna play like this, the passes,
Mhm.
the court vision, and it helps when he goes back to Lithuania and he has a school there by his name, and help the young players develop their game.
Mhm.
Really, he has a
So
school there.
yes,
So he's schooling the young kids like Sean does.
yeah,
And Sean,
not anymore now, but he maybe other players joined after him, but he had school there. And like Marcelonus, he was playing for the Golden State Warriors.
yep.
He also had school in Lithuania, so it's a big impact when a player come this, oh, this guy from NBA, and they
Yeah.
wants to know, experience what it is. Yeah, and but Europe is adapted different style in NBA.
Well, see, that's what I wanted to ask you, Sean. Art, thank you. You just touched on it. Great segue. I wanted to ask you, Sean, you've been on both sides of the pond, so you understand the development of becoming a professional player. What um, stands out to you currently that wasn't like in our time, right? Back in the day, right? As opposed to the North American side of playing and to the European style of playing.
The one thing that really sticks out is something that Art touched on as well. It's America is more of a one-on-one culture, individualist, and that's the thing that the athletes today are way more athletic now than they've ever been, no question. They can do more with the ball. They can jump higher. They can run faster. But it's all based on individual, and the IQ is what's missing. Whereas if you flip the script to where we live in Europe, like Art said, there's more of a team identity or to work together at a very, very young age. They like I can tell you my teams, my youth teams here, I don't let them play pick and roll until they're under 16. They won't play one pick and roll play until they're in under 16. You don't play any zone until you're under 16. It's all man-to-man defense, and it's more team-oriented basketball on offense. And I think that's one of the biggest things. It's not to say that one style is better than the other. That's just the reality of it. And because basketball is a team game, you would think that you would be more team orientated. But I think that's the biggest change or the biggest difference in the styles between Europe or overseas in general and North America.
Can I
I
add
agree.
something?
Yeah, go ahead, Art. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's all about the practice,
Yeah.
no?
How
Yeah,
hard how hard do you make your youth teams practice? Do you like fundamentally IQ? How hard do you
Yeah,
make them do that?
it's not about it being hard. It's about it being very structured. That's what I've learned over here to be work very structured, have your plans. Um, and I still have that American in me as well, but what I've learned is that you can get a lot done in a very short amount of time if it's structured. And one of the huge differences, what is going on right now, what I don't really like, is that back home, anybody can be a coach. Anybody can be a personal trainer or athletic trainer or something like that. There's no control. There's no, yeah, I mean, anybody off the street can call themselves an individual coach these days, and that's something that's becoming prevalent where it becomes more and more of an individualist game. Here, there's hardly any in Germany. I can think of two individual coaches that really work on individual skills of a player. Other than that, everything is team based. So back home, you've got guys at a park working on one-on-one stuff with kids with cones and stuff like that. And over here, you've got your team with you the whole time. So it's a different mentality.
Is
Guys,
there more games at USA that I heard
Yes.
than practice?
There's way too many games. It's an incredible amount of games what kids are playing now. They're specializing way too early. They're playing 6, 7 games on a weekend, but when are they practicing? They're not. If they're in their high school, they practice maybe a couple of times a week, but high school has become irrelevant these days, and now it's all about AAU.
yep.
And when I was growing up, it was only about your high school, and AAU was kind of an afterthought. But now it's totally different. So whereas we over here in Germany, or in my team, for example, we're practicing with my under 14 team. We're practicing 4 times a week, and one game on the weekend. But usually we don't even have one game every weekend. So it's a lot more practice time than playing. I because of the American in me, I like to try to play a little bit more. I usually have one day where we just play, but the other days is really only about getting better with a team focus and IQ.
May I weigh in here, guys? May I?
Sure.
Okay. I've noticed over my years of not professional coaching, but schools and rec leagues and things like that, right? And just understanding the game, and in my 5th decade understanding this game, I've noticed there's 3 completely different styles. There is the WNBA, which is more just shoot. That's a whole different style of play, right? Nothing against them. Get your money, girls, right? The NBA, which you just touched upon, Sean, it's more become a one-on-one thing. It's like these guys are doing it for the show, for the Instagram posts, for the clips, for the reels, for the likes, the sponsorships, all of this, right? And to me, I've seen the game evolve in the NBA, and to me, at this point, it's become, I'll say it like borderline disgusting that when I see these guys do it, it's like it draws me to the Euro leagues because, like both of you guys have said, it's more about the team element. How do we win? How do we get better? There is a we. The NBA, there's an I in there. Okay, but and this is what I'm upset about, because I'm more now leaning to the Euro League and the Euro players, right? And I'm loving the fact that I alluded to at the beginning of this video, that the European and international players are dominating the NBA using that style and at the same time winning. Now, I have to ask you guys, both of you, I'll start with you, Sean. What is the climate out there going to a Euro game, being at a Euro game, coaching at a Euro game, as opposed to being on this side of the border at an NBA game?
You can't compare it. I mean, at an NBA game, you can go to sleep. Over here,
True,
if
true.
it's
I
a
have.
if it's a if it's a high level game out here with rivals, derby is what they call them, something like that, then everybody's on their feet the whole 40 minutes. And you get it in the only thing you can compare it to is a student section like at Duke, one of those kind of settings where it's like all the students, they're hammering crazies, they're going nuts the whole time. That is like that for every EuroLeague game. It
Did
may
you
not be
play
like
against?
that.
You played against Duke, right?
I played against Duke one time, yeah, but in Arizona, it wasn't in Cameron. But it's a thing where it's that kind of energy from college on a pro setting with adults going just totally ballistic. And if you've never had a chance to be at a derby at one of those big games, I mean, Art, you can talk about this as well. I mean,
Yeah,
Lithuania is basketball crazy, so you take that.
it's our religion. Second.
It's your second religion.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Wow. See, and that's the thing. Us over here, we don't understand that, right? We're not feeling that vibe. We're feeling like not
Mm.
me personally, but from what I see, it's the Instagrams, it's the
Yeah,
reels,
you want to be seen.
this player, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
But before the youth system, players just go street basketball. No, here you could just play with different kind of players and then check if you are okay play in the youth system.
Mhm.
With the grown man, play with the grown man even.
Yeah,
Hey, Luca
yeah,
played with the grown men.
yeah. He
Yeah,
was 16 playing EuroLeague and with grown ass men. You know,
Yeah,
and I think that's a big part that's also missing back home, especially with the AAU system, is they're only playing with kids their age. There's
mhm,
no one going to parks anymore. There's
exactly.
nobody matching up against older guys. My brother took me to the park every weekend. He put me on his team. He's 5 years older than me, and he didn't care if he won or not. He wanted me to play against older guys, and that's
Same
what helped
thing.
me. That's what helped me. So now you look at my under 14, for example. You always play at least one division higher than you are. So, and you can also play in like lower men's teams, but the top players, oh, they're already practicing with the pros. Like we got a 16-year-old that's already practicing with the pro team we have here because he needs that. He needs that. He needs to be hit. He needs to with the under 14, under 16, he's the man. He needs to go somewhere where he's not the man, where they're gonna just knock him on his butt. And that's what he gets with the pros. And he's playing against guys that are grown men, 30-year-olds, that are twice his age. And that's experience that you just don't get every day. And I think that's another thing that's lacking back home as well.
yeah. Okay. Speaking of that, I love that idea of the kids learning that. I love that. I love that idea. Learn. No nepotism. Sorry, Bronny.
Mhm.
You ain't as good as the people say you are. Um, but on on this side of the pond, uh I wanted to ask you guys a question. Do you think, since we're doing this and this is media, do you think the media on this side is going for the Americans and ignoring how great the international players are? Do you think there is a narrative? It's up to you if you want to answer. Because
Art,
hell
go
yeah,
ahead.
I do. I think so. They hated us in Canada, even when we won the championship. But go on. Sorry. Sorry. I had to let that up.
What do you think, Art?
That
Art, you lived here. You know what it is.
yeah, they kind of forget. but can say from Europe's perspective, journalists are very into the game, know all the drills and ask questions to the coaches, not just general questions. What I notice in NBA, just that how are you feeling at the game? The coach, they ask the coaches the tactics, what he used. Of course, they don't tell all the details. But in NBA, yeah, it's more like, to me, maybe too much, maybe to NBA
LeBron.
players. Yeah, exactly. The superstar status is all the matters. In Europe, it's if you are the MVP of the game, they will ask you a lot of questions. And in NBA, maybe if you're on a Lakers team.
I think that's a good question. I think that in America, and the NBA is such a business. It's a business, and
Sure.
with that business, you have to keep the business out there. You have to keep it with good vibes, with feel good stories, with things like that, and you don't want too much controversy. And I think the NBA does a very good job of making sure the machine runs. Here, the reporters are not on the payroll of the EuroLeague teams, and they don't care about the clicks, they don't care about things, so they tend to be a little bit more confrontational and not so buddy,
Exactly.
and I think that's something. It's something like also like how American coaches are with their players. That could never fly over here. The coach is the boss out here, right? Back home, we know LeBron is the GM.
Darvinham.
Yeah, but here that's not flying. So the coaches still have a lot of the power over here. So it's a different vibe. It's a much different vibe, but it's not to say one is better than the other. Really not. It's just two different cultures and mindsets.
Yes, exactly.
So I have one last question for you guys before we get out of here. Do you think currently, right now, the Euro League or the Euro style of play is sticking to the true tradition of basketball since its inception, as opposed to what it has become now as a marketing machine and, like you just said, a business?
I think it is truer to how basketball was in the, let's say, 80s, 90s. It's truer to the pure form of the game. That has a lot to also to do with the fact that Europeans are not as athletic as Americans or North Americans are. So it's a different, just like WNBA. Of course, the WNBA, those girls can't dunk. It's a different game. Here, it's also the same. Europeans are not as athletic as Americans are. That's just the way it is. So they've found a niche where they can operate on a very high level without the crazy athleticism. And whereas in America, you want that crazy athleticism for clickbait, for Instagram, for everything else to make the game more attractive, more pleasing to the eye. But the purest of the basketball game is definitely EuroLeague, no question.
Art?
Yeah, I can agree that in Europe it's the basketball real game. It's maybe on marketing side it's not huge difference from NBA. Yeah, I agree with that. But you saw Luka Doncic, Jokic, the MVP 3 times. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What he's doing. And he doesn't care. Oh, they're the
Nope.
MVP. Ah, okay, is this my
Let him
job?
get his horses.
I love it.
Yeah. Just
Guys,
Pure guy.
Thank you for letting me travel the world with you. I appreciate
Anytime.
it, and I hope the viewers out there enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope they educated you, and you're just as clueless as I am about it. Okay, but thank you, Art, the man behind the scenes, the magician, for joining. I know you were looking forward to this one. Shout out to your boy Sabonis, right? And his dad. Yeah. Um, and then we have the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Sean McCaw. Like I said earlier, go buy it. Go. Go. And if you have any idea, if you want to become a professional player, make sure you link him on Instagram. Sean, thank you for coming on, spending your time. I know we're all on different time zones. Thank you guys very much.
No
You
problem,
guys
man.
have, thank you.
No
So,
problem.
on behalf of myself, Art, Sean, and you guys out there, if you're watching, you're part of the To The Point family. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and